Hey everybody. So it's Saturday and about midday. I want to update you on what we've been doing the last day or two. And we've got a little bit done today, but like I said, it is Saturday. And so yeah, I say um, I got a helper today. We went to eat a little bit ago, and he look at this fella. So yeah, my help's been asleep in the car for the last hour, but we're still getting stuff done. So as of yesterday, we worked on the engine a bit more. You can see here we got our exhaust manifold on. Still waiting on the cam, but at the 10 minutes to 5 on Friday, we got confirmation that they were shipping the new one out. So frustrating, but it's coming. We got our air compressor mounted up. I painted a few other things that are across the shop, gonna go on the engine. Got some underlayment for our wood floors. We've been wasting a whole bunch of time here lately working on trying to get the stacks to fit the pipe, or the stacks to fit the truck. We've had trouble with the bracket coming off the frame. You can see there that in order to get this one to stand up even close to the right position, we've had to space it down some. We've tried a couple sets of these brackets, going off VIN numbers and part numbers that were supposed to work together, and just nothing's working. We're gonna make it work. I think this is close enough. We'll remake that bracket to fit, but yeah, just been some time wasted and a lot of frustration and stuff. But I think we're getting pretty close where we're getting things figured out, and we're going to be able to make it work. We got some new cab mount bushings in, which if anybody's ever replaced these on a Kenworth, you know what a struggle that is and how miserable it is. I would encourage anybody that has exposed this bracket on a Kenworth where nothing is beneath it, that's the time to change this bushing, because you can see there's a vertical bolt right here coming down, and that is like immovable. And there's an upper bushing, and it has to come all the way down underneath this bolt in order to come out. And to do that without removing this bracket here is near impossible. I mean, you got to raise that cab up on the front end 5.5 inches, 6 inches or something. I mean, it's crazy. And so honestly, this is the first time I've ever replaced the top bushing. And ironically, they've actually been replacing this truck before. It wasn't by me, but by somebody else the customer had doing some work to it. They struggled and fought and said it was shady as all get out, but they eventually got it done. They replaced the original bushings with some OEM bushings. That was 2 years ago, and they were shot and worn out, and a big gap on the bottom bushing. Yeah, it is pretty pathetic that they only lasted 2 years. So you can see here the bushings that we put in are orange polyurethane. They're GAF bushings, G-A-F-F. I think they're owned by Stemco. But anyway, in my experience, they're some of the best polyurethane bushings out there. If you have a Peterbilt low air leaf of the old style, that's the only bushing that I've found that I'm satisfied with and actually holds up over time. But anyway, yeah, definitely. If you got the time to special order them, try out the GAF polyurethane bushings. So going back to this specific bushing though, I'd like to share with you what I've done in the past, because like I said, I've never replaced the upper bushing. And it's really common on this bottom snubber bushing for there to be a gap there due to the bushing wearing. And yet changing out the top and the bottom together, you know, it's a ton of work. And so what I've done to cheat that in the past, this bushing built into it is there's a collar that goes up the bolt, and it's, you know, 3.5 inches tall, and it's just a sleeve that goes up the bolt, and then you got this little pad of bushing at the bottom with a big washer on it. And things get worn out, and you get a gap between your bracket and your snubber bushing. Well, in order to cheat everything and tighten things up, that collar that goes around the bolt, we just cut the top off of that. However big a gap we got, say we have an 1/8 inch gap, we'll cut 3/16 to 1/4 inch off the top of that collar, and then tighten everything up. And then this snubber bushing is pushed up against the bracket, and the top bushing is tight against the bracket, and everything's tight again, and you didn't spend any money, you just spent a little time, and then your cab's not bouncing around. So I think, I mean, honestly, my thought is like in most applications, that's what you ought to do. You know, you can replace this bottom snubber bushing and collar pretty cheaply, but to replace the top one, I mean, only when that one's destroyed and it's not there anymore would I ever consider replacing it. I just keep, you know, replacing snubber bushings and trimming the collar in order to keep things tight. So that's my wisdom of the day. I'm going to go back to work for a while. You might have noticed we got the mirrors off of the cab this morning, and so I am in the process of mounting the new mirrors on it. And so maybe if I get very much done for the rest of the afternoon, I might start this back up and show you progress. Just got word that the kids are home and their grandmother's staying with them until I get there, so it's time to wrap things up for the day. Didn't get a whole lot done, but made progress, figured some parts out and different stuff. So yeah, I just want to go back to that snubber bushing and show you exactly what I was talking about here. So that is the bushing that goes up under the cab mount, and so you tighten it up and it bottoms out against that collar. So once your bushing wears, or you know, if you got a new bushing on the bottom, even, you know, you could tighten it up and your top bushing still be kind of worn out. So just trim the top end of that collar down a little bit and then snug it up, and it'll prevent you from going through the hassle of trying to replace that top bushing right away. You might have to do it eventually, but it'll buy you time, keep things tight. I mean, if you keep things tight, it's going to last a lot longer than if it's loose. So yeah, that top bushing might have wear, but you're going to destroy it if it stays loose. If you can just snug it back up again, you can postpone it and wait for a better time. Get the most out of it that you can. So as far as the mirrors go, I got my mirror brackets figured out. This is a pretty cool kit. It's made for this application. So originally, our big ugly mirrors, they had mounts up here and down here, and so this lower bracket mounts into where the top bracket of the old mirror was, and then there's a triangular bracket that goes there on the outside of the visor, and then another one above the door frame. And then once all that's secured, I'm gonna have to secure it to the cowl there, but that's down the road. Now, what comes with the kit originally is a traditional Kenworth style mirror frame or brace or bracket, whatever you want to call it. But what my customer, he wanted to do one of these with a drop on the bottom. He once ran a truck before that had some mirrors that had an integrated you know, rectangular mirror with a spot mirror underneath of it, all integrated into one unit. Still kind of a West Coast style look as far as the outer shape of it and everything, but yeah, didn't have the round spot mirror that you typically would. He liked that, got used to it, and I think what he bought's a moto mirror also, so we'll probably have to do some wiring to get those hooked up. But anyways, so he's not using the frame that came with the kit, and he's using these instead. All in all, I think it's pretty cool, you know, customization of a T600. I think it looks better than stock. I think he's going to enjoy it better than stock. Yeah, and it fit well, so I think we're going to like that. Anyway, that's what we've done the last day or two, and I'll talk to everybody later.